Hello everyone. I'm Kostas. I'm going to be talking about essentially what MCP and A2As are. Um, I want to help you understand how you can leverage these new AI technologies for essentially applying them to business, helping other businesses use these new technologies, and so you can be more up to date with what's happening in the AI field. So, I actually learned about this stuff when I was in a school community, and I had no idea what was happening, and I just learned it from other people. So I would suggest you I mean, this is probably obvious advice, but I would highly recommend you find like-minded people and you surround yourself with them. Anyway, most business owners are still stuck to doing manual labor across 5, 10, or sometimes 20 systems. They're copying and pasting data from Notion to Gmail, manually handling support emails, juggling spreadsheets, and meanwhile, what are smart people doing? They're building AI systems that automate all of it. While you're sleeping, or I'm sleeping, suffering, or chilling, these systems are running 24/7. The truth is, if you're not building intelligent automation, you're already behind. To be honest, don't feel discouraged when you say that. When I say that, I mean, I always feel behind, like this man. So essentially, today I'm essentially going to be explaining, as I said, what an MCP is. So, um, an MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's how your AI gets access to your actual business data. So think of it like an AI brain, more essentially. So that's essentially what it is. A2A stands for it's Google's framework um, for essentially coordinating AI agents amongst themselves. Anyway, A2A stands for agent to agent automation, where specialized AI agents hand off tasks between each other. When you combine them, you don't just get automation, you get thinking systems. So, what exactly is an MCP? So, think of an MCP like the eyes and ears of your AI. Without it, your model is just guessing from your prompt. With it, the model can read your CRM, your email inbox, your Notion workspace, even your SQL databases. It becomes context aware, it understands your business in real time. It's the difference between hiring an intern versus hiring someone who's already read your files. So here's a brief diagram that I made I made with ChatGPT to essentially explain what this MCP is. So you have your AI model. You can make this with N8N, by the way. So essentially, think of it like Claude or ChatGPT, like as your LLM, meaning your large language model. Anyway, the MCP is like your brain, the AI's brain, and it just goes to other systems like databases, customer data, and it fetches customer data. You know, it can contact it. It has access to the CRM, so your sales pipeline, documents and files, and it can have an email API, so it can send emails through within the system, and this can be very beneficial. So you don't have to actually so you have a system in place to actually do all of these things like sending emails uh, according to customer databases or according to your CRM. So you can have an established pipeline to not do work that could otherwise be done by machines. This is what a pipeline is, more or less. So essentially, A2A. Now let's get to what an A2A is more specifically. So A2A is essentially Google's protocol for a team of AI agents. So each one does one job. One handles CRM lookups, one writes email replies, one schedules meetings. Instead of one bloated bot, you get modular scalable systems where AIs talk to each other and pass off tasks. So when I say AI, I mean AI agents Um, it's like giving your AI a startup team that works 24/7 and never complains. So essentially, think of an agent like um, like a specific role within your company that facilitates several tasks. So that's the best way I can think to describe it. And to the right, I provided just another picture from NA10 showing essentially how different agents work together different API nodes work together to facilitate different tasks. So just a bit of background in NA10, it uses JSON script to essentially designate specific tasks to AIs. So JSON is essentially another writing script of JavaScript, if I'm not mistaken. So all of this is essentially made out of JSON. That's all you need to know. And why is this important? It's important because you can essentially, you don't need N8N to do any of this stuff. You don't need make.com. All you need to do is you can just ask AI to code up JSON script to essentially do everything you want to do within your AI automation. So I'm saying this because you don't need to pay for the $27 subscription every month for N8N or make.com. But that's actually better if you have a large volume of clients, essentially. Yeah, this is kind of a pyramid scheme, if I'm being honest, because I'm telling you to get clients and automate, which is what I'm doing. Most of these people are doing pyramid schemes. So back to what MCPs and A2As are. This is where it all clicks. MCPs give your agents the data they need. A2A gives them the ability to work together. Now, instead of relying on brittle if-then rules, which was essentially how AI worked beforehand, it was just if-then rules. Before, essentially in 2017, there was a Google paper that provided the outline for how natural linguistic programming would work. So that fact might be wrong, but essentially before 2017, everything was basically based on Boolean expressions for AI systems to work. If then, so Boolean is essentially like an if then rule. So they changed that after 2017, and then leading up to essentially the machine learning breakthroughs in 2022 when ChatGPT was released. That was essentially how LLMs didn't even work. That's how AI worked before then. That explanation might need a bit of work. So let me give you a simple example. A customer regarding the business applications of MCPs and A2As. So a customer sends in a support ticket. The MCP, the Model Context Protocol that I mentioned earlier, gives the AI access to their past history, recent activity, and previous issues. Then the A2A kicks in. One agent triages the issue, another diagnoses the problem using internal docs, and then another writes and sends a reply. It's fluid, coordinated, and completely hands-off. So as you can see from the diagram I provided, so you have data in Notion, for instance, a user data from a user database, CRM data, etc. And then you have the Model Context Protocol, which is, as I said, the AI's ears and eyes. So it's like the AI brain. And then you're contacting the support agent AI, essentially, which is the LLM in this case, and then typically the support agent would precede all of these nodes, and then essentially that triggers an email to orchestrate agent handoffs. Following. I wanted to show you briefly, essentially, here's a program that I was trying to create to apply MCPs and A2As in a business context. So a little anecdote: I applied for a telecom job and I wanted to automate the position. And I essentially tried to create a system where more or less I could automate a telecom job. And this made me realize essentially you can not only do that, you could also probably create a chatbot, not just a chatbot, but essentially a bot that has access to your company's data. So let's say you have new employees that want to use Notion or a new software and they don't know how to use it and they ask a lot of questions. Well, let's say you could make an AI that actually knew the entire software, that knew all of the data within it, all of the employee guides, and and also the ability to have in-browser capabilities to facilitate employee requests within the system. So that's essentially what I was thinking of doing, even though it was beyond the context of a customer service job, and that's what I tried to do. So I try to make connected to the Notion API, and I try to connect it to the Puppeteer API, which Puppeteer is essentially a browser API that allows you an AI to control various aspects of the browser, like clicking or moving files, etc. This can be very problematic because if you let malicious agents have access to your computer, this can actually lead to large data breaches. So it's advised to dock everything. When I say docking, I mean put everything in a local air duct server, so that the server does not have access to the cloud. So everything is secure. Then I tried to connect it to a Twilio API, which is essentially it's an electronic service that allows you to have the AI make calls, and then I had it connected to Claude. It didn't actually work. I just tried this to test myself because I'm quite new to this. But essentially, this was just me as an example case study of me trying to automate a job that I thought could be automated, because I think customer support is going to leave. So I thought this would be a good idea to automate. So essentially, back to the business aspect, where is the money? Here's how you can make money right now with the concepts I just taught. So MCPs and A2As systems. Here's where you can make money right now: customer support automation for SaaS and freelancers. E-commerce ops like inventory and dynamic pricing. So essentially, lead management for agencies and sales teams. Each of these is worth hundreds of thousands per month per client. And even if you make one good workflow, that's a revenue stream. So for instance, in my example, I was having a conversation with like an AI like Google Gemini, which was a stupid idea. You should never provide so much your own data to another company. But essentially, I was trying to think, okay, how do I find a niche market within the AI field to target? And I don't know. I think I found supplements for e-commerce, and I was like, okay, cool. Also, you want to typically target American markets, because they're far more willing to buy than Europeans or Canadians. I learned this from smart people. So that's how I know this. Smart people being business owners. So you might want to consider this when selling. I haven't sold, by the way, yet. So customer support deep dive. Sorry, my throat is dry. So customer support is the easiest place to start. The workflow is simple: detect the issue, triage it, investigate, respond. The triage is like it's an investigation node, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a trigger node that I think it's a trigger or investigation node. Essentially, agents can handle each of these steps with clarity. The benefits: you can never miss a ticket, responses are fast and consistent, and you can offer 24/7 support without hiring overseas, meaning India. I'm joking. Anyway, so here is a small diagram I made. So essentially, you have an issue, you have the triage node, the technical thing API, the thing that resolves the issue, meaning the LLM, the large language model like Claude or OpenAI or Google, whatever. And then this is the resolution. E-commerce businesses have constant moving parts. Your AI agents can monitor inventory, track pricing, and even auto-update product listings. With real-time analytics, pricing can be adjusted to meet demand. This isn't just automation, it's adaptive decision making. So essentially, what I wanted to say is that lost track. Yeah, lead management. Yeah, I wanted to talk about another business application. So lead management can be painful. AI agents can scrape social profiles, CRM data, and past email conversations to score leads. Then they can write custom outreach emails to only the top prospects. Your sales team gets a daily list of qualified leads instead of pipeline of maybes. So I'll explain on the next slide why this beats traditional automation, which you probably won't use. If you're like me, you probably just learned about booleans or something, and you know about ChatGPT or whatever. So traditional automation is, as I said, if-then rules. So boolean expressions, and it's very fragile. It's very case sensitive, etc. So if you change one variable, it breaks. And this approach, it's modular, secure, and smart, meaning the LLM approach, the one with ChatGPT or Claude. Agents use real context. There are not hard-coded rules. You get systems that adapt, not scripts that crash. So finally, here's what you need to build all of this stuff with the MCPs and A2As that I talked about, the new business AI automation concepts that I mentioned. So here's what you actually need: an MCP server to access your data. So that can be coded within either with TypeScript or JavaScript, TypeScript or Python, or you can find a provider like Hostinger. I think just vibe code the SDK server with TypeScript or Python, and that works. Claude can handle the reasoning and orchestration for a tool like N8N or Make.com to glue it all together. You do not need a custom stack. There is no enterprise level tech. You can build this all now, even if you're solo. So something that helps is turning off your brain and just find people. It doesn't matter if you're qualified, you'll become qualified anyway. And that's it. Obviously, ethically, you want to do it, but yeah. I believe I said everything here. Sorry if the keys are loud. So here's the meta strategy. First, build a system that actually works. Then document the process on YouTube or Twitter, like what I'm doing. This is a pyramid scheme, by the way, I'm joking. Attract the audience who wants to do the same. Build a community around what you build and monetize it through coaching, templates, or automation services. So I mentioned like using N8N or Make.com with these new tools like MCPs and A2As to essentially facilitate an outbound business. So when I say outbound business, your leads, meaning your customers, are you're essentially reaching out to them. They are not reaching out to you. So typically you would do this through cold email. An inbound business is what I am attempting to do with this video. So essentially people reach out to you. That's the business. That's the difference. What I'm suggesting is that you should make an inbound business, even though it sounds a bit foreign. It's a good idea. That's how actually people in this, most people on YouTube in this field, the people you learn from make money. You will make more money from anything teaching it as opposed to doing it. I think there's a saying that people made more money during the gold rush selling shovels as opposed to actually digging gold. So essentially, I'll give you an example. So David Andre, he built an audience by teaching A2A automation. He didn't invent anything new. He just documented, educated, and helped others. He built a tribe, and that tribe became multiple revenue streams, like a school community, an app he's building, or his YouTube. It's a blueprint anyone can follow. So you want to make a YouTube channel and have auxiliary income, and that is what is important. So start now. Pick one business task you hate doing and try to automate it. Share it to other people, and people will like you. You'll learn, you'll grow, and create assets in the process. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be real. So essentially what I'm trying to say here is do stuff, man. It seems scary, but it's gonna be worth it. And that's about it. I appreciate your time, and if you want, subscribe, and I can give you free stuff so I can help you learn more about AI automation for free. Thank you.